Sir Jeff Hurst, the Trevor Brooking and Billy Bonds, Paolo Di Canio, West Ham United. We celebrate our victories, we stick together in defeat. I'm proud of our history, West Ham United, more than just a podcast, more than just a podcast.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I think so. Jet lag. This is more than just a podcast.
Podcast, sorry.
Season 12, episode 2. And the whole gang is back tonight. Full of cheer and joy and enthusiasm for the season ahead.
I love football.
I love Premier League.
Don't.
Oh, okay. Anyway, this evening we have Nigel. Where are you? What are you doing?
I'm in my shed. Bit of a mess.
Yeah. Canning Town Lamb, where are you? What are you doing?
I am doing a podcast review whilst painting at the same time. Because I'm bugged if I'm going to stop painting to talk about that lot rubbish.
John, recently back from Tenerife. Where are you? What are you doing?
I am at home talking to yous.
And George, just back in the last few minutes from Centre Parks. Where are you doing?
I am recording a podcast with you, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, the whole gang's back. I've just literally jumped off the plane a few hours ago from Mexico. So I am going to grace you for a week.
They gave you a parachute in.
They did. Actually, do you know what? All this rubbish, and I'm sure John will tell you the same, all this rubbish about airports and, queues and stacks of luggage. It's just, in my experience, it's just not true. I've had no problems at all. You, John?
No, it was pretty decent considering it's the middle of August. But
yeah, I mean,
maybe they've sorted it out a bit though. Sean, it doesn't
I
necessarily
landed
mean
in
it's been rubbish.
Gatwick South this morning. No queues. It was about 11:30. No queues at passport control. Straight through. Baggage. The bags were straight out. I had to wait actually for the taxi because I was so early. I was out in like 20 minutes. But anyway, it's not a travel podcast. It is a football podcast.
Give a bit of congratulations to the Khan family.
Oh yes.
Oh,
yes. Granddad. We should play Clive Dan, Granddad.
Or Clive Dunn.
Clive Dunn,
Yeah.
that's the one.
You'd do that.
Congratulations, Nigel.
Congratulations,
No, I
Nigel.
didn't do anything, did I? I did my bit
To you and
25
your
years
family.
ago.
Years ago.
And just tell our listeners the name of your granddaughter, isn't it?
It is a granddaughter, Eliza.
Eliza.
Where
Second
the
name?
devil are my slippers?
Second name?
Doolittle.
It's not, is it?
It's named after my daughter, Molly Doolittle.
Okay. Cool. I thought there was a West Ham theme somewhere. Or am
No.
I mistaken?
You are mistaken, yeah.
All right. I thought you put a Brookin or a Bonds or something in there.
What, in the Molly's name?
Yeah. No.
No.
You squeezed one in.
Obviously,
Anyway.
I named my son after a Bayern Munich goalkeeper, but no.
Congratulations, Molly and Charlie. Yes. And I'm sure you'll be doing some babysitting very soon. Well, I tell you what, I did listen to the podcast last week. Miserable bunch of bastards you were too.
Why no cheerier this week?
Yeah.
Well.
So let's start with you, Nigel. Obviously, we've got the Forest game. I did watch it. I'm sure. Did we all watch it? I assume we did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Regrettably.
Yeah. Nigel.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with you because we had a little chat on WhatsApp, and you were being a bit of a Forest fan actually, defending Forest.
No, I wasn't being a Forest fan. I was just correcting all George's mistakes.
Alleged,
Oof.
in your opinion.
Go on then. Go on. Take us through the game then, Nigel. Educate us.
A hot sunny day. Ooh, we could have done with a forest to shade, really, but I don't know. Where do you start? I felt like we got mugged. We were by far the better team. We created the better chances. If we take it that we scored first, chalked off of VAR. If you're a VAR supporter, I'll still go. You got nothing to moan about. Should it have been chalked off? Well, this is what happens when you get the chance to look at it, slow it down, and everything.
Yeah.
Yes, it should have been chalked off. Antonio, if you look, steps into the bloke and blocks him off. That's the way I see it.
It's the
Antonio
consistency, though. It's all well and good.
What do you mean? Forget consistency.
VAR.
I don't see it.
Antonio
You see
runs
those
in and
not-
blocks the player off.
You see those given though, and
Well-
where's the consistency in VAR?
Well, listen, you're talking to someone that didn't want it, Sean. I'd go and say that to the people that wanted it, because I didn't.
Yeah,
and I
but
still
for
don't
someone
want
who
it.
didn't want it, you're making a lot of judgments on the replay because the referee didn't stop the action, nor did the linesman. Everyone saw it.
Yeah.
And in the
But
run of the play,
when you
it just
slow
looked
it
like
down
it
and
coming
look
together.
at it, no, yeah, but no, that's the thing. When you get a chance to analyse it and look at it, you can see he changes his direction. Antonio, he runs into the bloke. The bloke moves left first. Antonio moves left and runs into him and knocks him over. So what Antonio's done there? Everybody's blaming VAR. Everybody's blaming ref. Antonio allowed them to make that decision. He did not have to do that. If you look at it, he did not have to do
But
that.
if he didn't have to do it, why would you think he done it deliberately then? Because you're right, he didn't have to do
Yeah, I'll
it.
tell you why.
bloke's been on him all game.
Yeah.
It was the same bloke that had him about
Yeah.
4 or 5 times, and that was the point I was making. Was it was a foul. I don't have a huge problem with this Antonio disallowed goal, but what I have a problem with was the 5 or 6 times that same defender took out Antonio in a variety of ways,
And if you
didn't
look
get
at
picked
it,
up on it.
yeah, and if you look at
Declan
it, if
Rice
he had
made
been
2
picked up
fouls
on
and
it,
got
if he
booked.
had been picked up on it, perhaps Antonio wouldn't have done that. But at the end of the day, that's football, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
It's
and
not
you
a
gotta
one
rely on-
incident game though. It's not all
Oh, no.
down to that disallowed goal.
No,
I
it's
agree.
not. So you move on. They score.
They
You know,
they score a fluke goal.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, absolute outstanding. You know,
Not
he
much.
shanks his shot, didn't he?
Yeah.
Lingard, Johnson sticks out a foot. The naivety of being a central defender there, and I'm not going to blame the lad, but it was an absolute freak. You know, the way that bloke celebrated. Come on, mate. You know, hit your knee and
It was
rolled
just
in.
a surprise that it went in.
Yeah. You know, unfortunately, Fabianski had already dived, but to be fair, Fabianski had dived the wrong way, because even Lingard's shot weren't going the way Fabianski had dived. You know, we find ourselves one down, but I think the second half it was near enough all West Ham. You know, to hit the underside of the bar was unlucky once. To do it twice is freakish. 2 cleared off the line, and then the penalty. I get why he didn't get sent off. I understand it. He got the keeper behind him. I was thinking about double jeopardy, but actually, when you look at the rules, is if you deliberately handball it like he did and deny a clear goal scoring chance, double jeopardy don't come in. It's a red card offence. So double jeopardy is
so I
really
was right. So you're
yeah.
saying I
See, you
right.
was right there. So
Oh, gee,
double
thank
jeopardy is for the goalkeepers. If they bring a player down, they won't send the
Hallelujah.
keeper off. So
should he gone?
yeah,
He should
no,
100% have gone.
no, and I'll tell you why. Because the keeper was behind him.
No, but
Yeah,
that's-
but the keeper's always there when it comes to.
No, but the keeper
kick.
was right behind him, and the keeper
Yeah,
would
but-
have had an opportunity to save
Yeah, but
that
so
ball.
does the keeper when someone gets brought down. He's got an opportunity
Yeah,
to save as well. So
yeah,
I
but-
don't understand that rule.
I don't-
I'm not saying it's wrong.
No,
I'm just
but-
saying it's fucking a bit crazy.
All I'm doing
You've
is
always got a bit of
explaining
goalie.
why VAR made that decision. Now, if you ask me, I wouldn't have gone. I don't like VAR, so I would expect the referee to know whether that was a deliberate handball or not and give the red card. He didn't. Actually, though, I don't think that affected the result, to be honest. But Declan Rice, please someone tell me why he takes penalties.
Oh, no
I
one
knew-
knows.
As soon as I saw him,
We
go
all
up
did,
for
didn't
it,
we?
We all went, and so did Finley. He was watching it with me. He went, yeah, that ain't gonna go in. I think everyone thought it, didn't they? Did
Yeah.
everyone think it would go?
Yeah.
No, we know he's a
Everyone-
lousy penalty taker.
Yeah.
I think what it is with him, and he's missed a couple, and I think he wanted to step up. His first season as proper club captain, He was like, right, I'm going to take it from Nobes. I'm going to start scoring penalties. I'm going to be the penalty taker, and it's my decision because I'm on the pitch. I think he's got to swallow a little bit of pride. And
Shouldn't have been his decision.
Pass
Should have
it.
been managed beforehand.
This should have been. Everyone should have
could
known.
been, but then he could upset him, couldn't you, by saying, look, you don't have a chance anymore.
Don't
That's
make
gonna
no
be
odds
his
if you
last
upset
chance.
him, does it? He's only
Well,
here
it
for another
does.
season.
Well, exactly. You don't want to upset him, do you? He could go now. if you
Well, he
upset
looks
him.
like he's upset at the moment, the way he's playing.
Well, he didn't have a good game, I didn't think.
No, he didn't.
I
think he captained the game quite badly, actually.
Ben Rama showed everyone up. Was
Yeah.
easily the man of the match, and
He looked like he was hungry to prove.
he
a
did,
point,
didn't he? He wanted to prove
Yeah.
everyone wrong.
Yeah.
going,
And if you
"Oh,
notice
right,
for his disallowed goal, he was
Yeah.
pointing at his brain, pointing at the bench, and I think he shushed the bench.
Well, he
Yeah.
fucked over fucking.
Unconfirmed reports, though. I was watching it in a busy sports bar and I had a few beers, but I reckon that's what he was doing.
You reckon what?
I think if you watch his goal back, or his disallowed goal, I'm pretty sure he pointed at the bench and he did a shush celebration to the bench.
Ooh, we'll have to
Did
look
he?
at that.
I think he might have done.
Well, he got a
I'm saying
shush
I think he might
celebration
have done.
afterwards, didn't he?
He did. His celebrations were literally shushed.
Yeah.
There you go.
He had the freedom of Nottingham. He was in the mood, right? And let's be honest about this game. In the first quarter of an hour, credit to the fucking Forest fans. They really made an occasion, and it rubbed off on the team. They're going right gung ho for it. But what it also done, you could see that. But what you could also see was the back four was awful, and they were giving time and space to anyone who fancied it, and he was the only one that fancied it. And you're having these silly billy water breaks. Don't get me wrong, I'm not sort of knocking it. But you got a chance there. If you're David Moyes and you're seeing all that room and they were awful. The defence I thought was terrible. I'll be saying to Souček, sorry son, I'm taking you off and putting another striker on. Because we could have just gone at them and murdered them, I thought. And that really upset me that Moyes has done like for like substitutions in the formation of the team that was the same as the City game. You can't play the same way against City as you do against a team like Nottingham Forest. They're not ready at all, Forest. The occasion won it for them.
I mean,
really,
the
I am
owner was
proper
doing the old
disappointed.
cross.
Yeah,
wasn't he,
Hail
all the
Marys.
time? Yeah, Hail Mary, that's it.
He's entitled to that back four. They were awful.
Yeah.
When that was disallowed goal, they all stopped there, and it made it look probably worse than it was. They all stopped there, froze, literally, and Rice's side passes it to Ben Rama, who finished it. And you're like, this could have been coming a long while ago. You could have been 4 up by then. They were literally worse than what Watford were last season. In the later on in the last season. Terrible.
I just
So-
watched it back. I don't think he did it to the bench. I'll take it back.
All right. Jay, do you
Yes.
think he should have started Skamaka
Whom?
and Cornet?
Well,
Would it made a
the fact
difference?
of the matter is, yeah, I probably was, because the fact of the matter is, it looked like that he uses the same personnel with different positions, and Souček was far up the pitch, not really contributing, not really
one
taking
change,
chances
wasn't
that
there?
were
So
given to him.
He dropped Lanzini to the bench.
It was just
Dawson,
strange.
Dawson's still injured, and I'll just give you a bit of injury news. Dawson has still got a thigh problem. Obviously, since the last time we podcasted, Diop's been sold for 15 million, but Dawson's still got a thigh strain. Won't be available for this Thursday for the European game, and very unlikely to be available for the Brighton game. So,
God.
I thought Ben Johnson is standing in okay, but quite a lot of people blamed him for that fluke goal, which I thought was a little bit harsh.
Well,
It's a normal thing, and you'll know this, Len. Meltdown has begun. The Moyes out brigade. Who was it on
Moyes
this
has give
podcast?
people a chance, hasn't he?
Was it John or was it
For the
George who sent
meltdown.
me? He's third in the running for the sack already. Who was it who sent me that?
That
clip?
was me. Yeah,
That was you.
it started already.
Oh, for Christ's sake! Come on.
He could walk. before he gets sacked.
After 2 seasons, what he's given us, to start panicking after. I mean, one game was against City. We didn't expect anything out of it, right? And I thought, it wasn't. We'd lost 5-0 on the first game of the season, so it was a slight improvement.
A fluke loss, and then we got our bogey team next time,
And
then we got another top 6
And do
team
you know
and
what?
another one, and we got Villa.
If we lose against,
we could have nothing.
do you know what? If we lose against, I think, and look, we'll bring Nigel back in here. 1986, didn't we lose the first 2 games? 1986?
No.
Was it first game?
No, we lost the first game at Luton, but then second game we beat QPR 3-1
Okay.
when they moved McAvenny up front.
There you go. I know you know that.
dear.
But, it's not the end of the world. It's not save our season time yet.
No, but I mean we're still doing the game, but we can talk about what's coming up.
Well, we look.
It don't
Sometimes,
look right, does it?
right? Sometimes you have a bad day at the office, and I said to Finley, I said, and we were watching at 8 o'clock in the morning Mexico time, and we just
Don't
went
change how good it was.
and I said, some days, and he said, "Oh, we'll definitely draw this at least, minimum, maybe win it." And I said, "No, we've hit the bar so many times. We've missed a penalty. I've been a West Ham fan for too long to know when it's not going your way, it's not going your way, and it ain't going to change."
Yeah.
I know there's something about it
No.
that it's just one of those days, and no matter what you do.
It felt that way, and it was for me. It was the yellow card for what should have been a red. I know we've got backing of the rule as to why it probably shouldn't have been a red, but for me, it's like I just feel like if you were watching any other team in any other league, and the opposition player saved a goal with their arm, they would get a red card. It's just so West Ham that they didn't.
Just comes here.
It's just like as soon as that happened, I was like, yeah.
George, what was your view on Rice? And I mean, obviously, he got an early yellow, which sort of stopped him in maybe playing as active a role as he would have liked. You could see him just holding back because he didn't want to get a red as captain. I won't put words in your mouth, but I wasn't impressed.
I know, I think we've already covered that, haven't we? It wasn't a great performance from him. I think that probably the yellow did have something to do with it, to be fair. I think it was a harsh yellow, given what was going on at the other end of the pitch with Antonio, but I've been over that already. So, it wasn't a great performance. I think he knows that, though. Not that I'm a massive fan of apology tweets, but he has sent one.
No,
He did.
me neither.
I mean, Moyes is a stickler. We should have known, right? And I'm sure we did, right? Before the City game, I could say, apart from injuries, is choose the same game, the same team that started against Brighton, minus the people who are not available. And you could sort of say... Man City. Yeah, but no, Brighton, the last game of the season.
Oh, yeah.
And then, and he didn't make a lot of changes from that team. And he didn't make a lot of changes from the City team. He made one change. He's like this. He doesn't like to throw in new players. Scamacca, Cornet, Downs, and...
Well, maybe that's why he's never won a cup or anything. Maybe it's his,
Maybe. Well, it'll be interesting because there's no Rice and there's no Cresswell on Thursday because they're both suspended.
And no manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, Thursday's a day for youth and reserves, isn't it?
Are they not special, this Denmark team?
Well, I think Viborg translates as the dog and duck in Danish. So
Yeah, but we said that about
Famous last word.
I had to
That's
say
a
it.
Google.
Romanian
I was going to write it, and I actually deleted that out of an article.
Romanian farmers. Romanian farmers beat us twice, not once but twice.
Yeah, but we're better now than we were when we lost to the
I
Gugu
agree.
goals.
That's what's so disappointing.
Well, are we though?
Well, are we? Yeah.
Well, are
it
we?
was
'Cause
very West Ham-like, wasn't it?
Well,
Sunday.
have a look at our form this year.
Yeah, this is what I was going to say.
From
You got to look
January.
at. You got to look at. Yeah,
Bad.
the end of last season, it fell off, didn't it? We put it down to the amount of games. Our pre-season, how's that gone? It was pretty shocking, wasn't it?
One win, we beat
And that's not.
Ipswich.
It doesn't mean anything though.
I know, but it's a continuation of form, isn't it? Our last, was it 5-6 games of last
Let's
season?
look at 2022. It's looking quite bad,
I think we've won
actually.
5 out of our last 25. And if you look at those 5 games, I'm pretty sure we beat Burnley, Norwich, Watford and Everton.
Yes, right.
And I think the other one was Aston Villa. So,
Oh, it's not great, is it?
3 teams that went
No.
down. 1 team that, could have gone down. And, Villa fell away in the middle. So,
And then you buy a
Yeah, but we're
like
going to win the Conference League. Come on,
Yeah.
let's have it.
Oh,
But then you don't start your striker. You don't play your new attacking.
Well, this is the thing, right?
You know,
that's
it's just-
that's the same team as last season. That
Yeah,
started
it's so
Sunday.
that's what I find so frustrating. So frustrating when you look at that lineup against, and then when he then takes off Antonio to bring Skamaka on, you're like, oh come on! If there's only a time to put 2 up, now's the
Yeah.
time, isn't it?
yeah.
Well,
two
you just
strikers
reminded
and
me.
murdered that lot.
Bowen had a pretty poor game as well,
Bad
didn't
game.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't see. I was away for the City game, and I listened to some of it. But is it like our 2 breakthrough players of last season? Well, Bowen specifically, have they form improved over this season, or have they got worse? So they've gone
We've only played
backwards.
2 games.
I mean,
But yeah,
but
I
Bowen
think
played better on the City game. I
He
do
was
think
better
he
the City
had,
game, yeah.
yeah, I think he had a bit of a shocking game against Forest.
He was just missing, wasn't he?
He was.
Ben Ram was the only player.
Ben
that stood
Rama
up.
was the only one running around. Skamaka again can't judge him, but he didn't. He looked better against City than he
No,
did
it was
against.
It was bouncing
Forest.
off him, wasn't it? It was Carlton
Yeah.
Cole-esque.
Yeah. What did you
He
think,
chested it down in the box, thinking
John
someone
or
was
George?
there.
What
It's
did you
like,
think
"Shoot."
of Jesse Lingard?
What did I think of him?
Yeah. Well,
I
Do
didn't
you-
think much of him. I didn't think he impacted the game that much.
no.
Should
I
have
mean,
scored.
Well, obviously I wasn't here again when he did what he did.
God, you're not here a lot, are you?
No, well, it's been the summer holidays, isn't it? I mean, I'm not too disappointed we didn't get him. I mean, he's another one that he came in with a blaze of glory, done really well, but the last 3 or 4 games for us, he was missing. And I think his game's in his head. If his head's in the right place, he's on fire.
Well,
he's great.
He's deluded. Sorry, Forest fans are deluded. They keep on having a pop at West Ham fans, suggesting that he went there for glory and not for money.
Yeah,
And Jesse Lingard's come out and go, "Oh, I could have gone abroad for much more money."
he wouldn't survive the
Doesn't
abroad.
answer the question.
He's-
But
he-
he
he's-
hasn't
he's-
answered the question. He's getting 200 grand a week. All right, so he's getting 80 grand a week actually in a basic, but he's getting 100 and something on a signing on bonus for a year.
Oh, but Sean, we've done this.
And
You
every-
can't keep
Yeah, it's
fucking
boring.
Well, I'm
including
just
that
saying,
money.
It's boring,
but,
right?
but
Let's just
it's
not talk about
Forest
Lingard.
fans.
It's
It's
just
Forest
no,
fans that won't
no.
go.
It's
Anyway.
boring.
Yeah.
He's made his decision.
Yeah.
People
I'm
throwing
glad.
I'm
No one
glad.
cares.
people
I'm
throwing
glad for
fake
him.
money at him. It's just get over
Yeah,
it.
that's
Yeah.
If it was
just
the other way
stupid.
round,
Yeah.
West Ham fans would have been crowing about him coming to us and pointing
Yeah.
at the Forest fans, and Forest fans would have
He's
been going,
walking-
"You only
someone
went there
walking-
for the money."
Someone
Yeah.
walking through
Well,
the woods
everyone
or
would-
something.
Yeah, what is that noise?
Someone like walking through the woods or playing
So look,
billiards.
That's probably Len painting.
Sounds like acrylic.
Yeah, it was. Sorry. I told you I was painting. I was putting a bit of canvas away.
He's put in the ears where the eyes go.
Yeah. Because it's all right to have a bad day. Sorry, Mr. Smith. People, footballers can just have bad days and get on with it. Sorry, Mr. Smith, I painted your late wife like a baboon, but I was just having a bad day. Please still give me the money.
Oh dear.
Dear.
Right,
Anyway,
I'll stop painting now.
Anything else to say about the game?
No, move on. Can we just do a transfer update, please? That's what everyone wants to know.
Oh no,
Let's
no,
do
not
transfer
that's not moving on
update.
at all.
Well, it is, because I think Sean, you might have some updates. Or at
Alright.
least you asked for them.
Yeah, well, funny you should say that. Well, it's interesting, right? I like to keep in touch, even though I was on holiday and retired. I do keep my finger on the
Oh,
pulse.
fuck
you know.
off, Sean, with that will, you bollocks.
What are you talking about?
Well, one, on holiday, you was as busy, you was even writing articles from Mexico on that bleeding
Oh, only
website.
one.
Right, and then, yeah, there is no retirement. Is there? Come on.
Well, I get bored. There's only so long
You fly
can sit in the sun.
3,000 miles around the world and you're still winding up people on Twitter.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Anyway, transfer update. I have been told by a senior source that there are multiple bids in for multiple players, not all of which are in the public domain. So everybody goes, well, what are the ones not in the public domain? They're not in the public domain. So Moyes is still running the show, okay? But as what happens in every club, agents and intermediaries throw a number of available players or try and gauge interest. And one of them is, I'm going to pronounce his name wrong by saying Depay. It's not Depay, is it?
Memphis the Pie.
Depay.
Memphis the Pie.
Depay. Memphis Depay was offered to West Ham, right, through an agent, to gauge interest. My understanding is David Moyes said thanks, but no thanks.
What did David Sullivan say?
I desperately wanted him, Sean.
I don't think David Sullivan would have a choice on whether it's down to the manager.
Oh, right, okay.
I was told by sources close to the club, less than a 5% chance because the manager didn't fancy him. Unless he changed his mind, we're not going to sign him. He then came on when he was asked directly about the player, said, it's not us doing the deal, right? But what you've got to understand is hundreds of players are offered to us all the time, and they are either agents emailing David Moyes directly, agents emailing or phoning Rob Newman directly, agents or intermediaries talking to David Sullivan or anybody else, David Gold, etc. They come from a number of sources, right? That's what happens, right? And if the manager doesn't fancy him, he go, nah, I'm not keen about him. But it's enough to create a story, and that's the way the sausages are made. But anyway, let me confirm one to you. The Chelsea guy, Emerson. What's his name? His first name? I'm trying to remember.
Fittipaldi.
It's
Emerson.
not Emerson Fittipaldi.
He's just
Laken
known as
Palmer.
Emerson, I think.
Is he a good player, George? With your Chelsea contacts? We put in
Palmieri.
Is it Emerson Park?
he is. We put in a £13 million bid. I'm going to carry on talking to you, George, because you're listening. £13 million bid. I've had it confirmed by two sources, including one club source. I don't know if it's been accepted or not. Probably doubtful. Others they would have said that, but
Well, he played against us for Lyon on
Right.
loan last year, and I don't remember him having that much of an impact. There's a reason why he's not in Chelsea's team, but for 13 million, is it a bad gamble? Probably not. He plays for Italy. He's in their team.
Yeah.
So.
well, this came out of a KPUMB article. Although I will say,
You can't even say that properly.
well, actually, X had mentioned him before, so it all becomes then.
Must be true.
it all becomes who's mentioned him first. But X mentioned him before. The KUMB guy who's come out of nowhere, I don't know who he is, did mention the other guy, and there is some truth in that. And that is, what is his name? Hans Vankinen. Do you know anything about him?
No.
That'll be a no.
Han
Is he
Solo.
Dutch?
He is Dutch, yeah.
All right.
No?
No.
He's not.
No.
Is he a goalkeeper?
He's not.
Hans?
He's Belgian.
He's not a goalkeeper.
Oh, right.
But he's not Dutch.
He's not Dutch.
No, he's
Oh, is he
Belgian.
not?
What is he then, George?
He's Belgian.
Or is he?
He has played for Belgium 21 times, scoring
is he?
5 goals.
Wow.
Is he an attacking midfielder?
He is an attacking midfielder for Belgian First Division club.
I'm just reading about him,
Mm,
yeah.
Well, the Bruges are the better team now in Belgium. They've surpassed Anderlecht. I don't, the rumours are that the Belgium league, I think the Dutch league and the Scottish league have been planning to merge for years to create an Atlantic league. It sort of shows you the quality of the league if they're looking to merge with the Scottish Premier League. No disrespect. Well, obviously, I
Well,
say no
lots of
disrespect, but actually,
disrespect.
that is a lot of disrespect, isn't it? But to all our Scottish listeners and Belgian listeners and Dutch listeners, the truth hurts. I'm sorry, ain't my fault.
On this story, it says the Club Brugge is a central midfielder rather than attacking midfielder. 6'4". We want a team
Oh,
of
that
giants.
sounds like
don't
what
we?
someone Moyes likes.
6'4". He's
Suchet was. A bit
Well, he's
Oh, don't mention
he's
him.
rumoured, isn't he? He's rumoured.
What, to be going?
Emerson is more than likely. I've read.
no. So Emerson is. I've had it confirmed by 2 club sources. I've had it confirmed by 1 good source. The Club Brugge guy is real interest. I have been told almost 100% that there is no truth in Dimitri Payet rejoining us.
Oh,
No.
A
God,
senior
where
source
the
said-
hell did that come
Where
from?
does that come from? It's just
Well, it was
ridiculous.
again the same source as the KUMB guy, and I was told by a senior source at 35. He didn't say no. What he said was at 35, I'm sure there would be a lot. The manager would look at a lot of other choices before choosing a 35-year-old.
Quickly, straw poll. Would you though?
Yeah, I would.
No.
Yeah, I would for one season.
Yeah, I would.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
one-
an emotional response.
I think
it's,
when
it's
it was
exactly what
rumoured,
we're
was it-
lacking.
It was last year, wasn't it, when he was rumoured again to be coming back?
Oh, and I should have added in, and he's on massive wages.
I think it was
And he
last year.
spatted
No,
a bird over here.
Oi!
Well, yeah. that could affect it, though, innit? Because the CSA is
Allegedly.
just sitting there waiting for him.
Allegedly, nothing was ever proved.
All right. Well,
Well,
anyway,
they've got 'em good authority.
Well, I've
talent-wise,
got
he's still
pretty good
doing
source.
it. So,
Yeah, so have I. But anyway.
What about the Leon, the PSG defender?
PSG defender. Yeah, we're still going after him. We're still not the evaluation. I think we're how many?
10 million in pounds, about 30 million euros. I've read.
Yeah. So we are going after him. Whether we're get that or not, I don't know.
do any of these names excite you though?
No,
is
I
it
don't
like-
know any of them. Well, I know Emerson.
No,
Don't
I
know
can't
his
see
name.
Moyes playing them.
But
Yeah, what's the point? They still play Lanzini and Souček.
Oh, please don't mention his name.
I'm gonna have to. He still plays for us.
Yeah, well, there's half a chance he could go, and he's Sean.
Who?
Can't I give him a lift to the airport?
Who's that?
Souček.
Oh, leave the Souček alone.
I no one's come in for him, so unless someone comes
Exactly.
in for him late, then no.
He's frustrating.
I've
isn't
got
he? How
some
did he
stuff
not-
to
how
do
did
around
he
the
not-
house. Can't he come here?
How did he not score that header? He's like the best header
It-
of
I-
the ball ever.
He's
Head it
not,
down,
though.
innit?
He's
Head it
not.
down.
It's
He's
the
been
keeper
mistiming
done well.
headers for a long while.
Keeper done well. Don't.
Anywhere but
Oh,
there,
shut
Nigel.
up, you.
Anywhere but
The
there.
keeper's
Keeper done
union.
well.
Oh, look at
I'd have
this
been
Forest fan
fucking
over
crowing
here.
about that save.
Is there like evidence of you as a child wearing a Forest shirt somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what it means. I've got a soft spot for Forest, but I
So-
No, but
just enjoy we played.
Don't diss the. What I'm saying is that don't.
No, we're not
This is the
dissing the
keeper.
keeper.
This is Souček.
We'd say it's a
'cause he
shit
could have put
header. It was a
anywhere
shit
but
header.
But weren't
there.
a shit header. He
Oh, it
got to
was.
the
It was
ball,
rubbish.
on target. It weren't.
It was a header
rubbish.
A
back.
shit header would have gone off over the bar or wide. It wasn't a shit header. He got it. Could have done better.
Yes.
Probably yes. He could.
It's a
Probably.
shit header, wasn't it? Oh God! Please
He's on
get
the
to
wind
question
up.
time.
He's on the
I
wind
need my sanity.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the news. I'm
Probably.
hoping, although I only know about those 3 that we're working on, I'm hoping this multiple bids for multiple players, some of them not in public domain, there's a few little surprises for us. But then again, there might not be.
Probably not.
Well, something.
I'm
I've
hearing
read is-
all kinds. I can't repeat them, but I'm hearing all kinds of rumours.
Well, you can
about-
repeat them.
Well, I can't.
Well, they're
Just repeat 'em
rumours.
if they're rumours. Go on.
We won't say that Sully told
Put a
you
big
or
disclaimer in
or
front
of
he
it.
told you. Rumour.
I'm just
only.
hearing. Look, I think. What
Come on,
happens
Sean.
When I hear the whole agent business is crooked, right? We know that, right? And there's a lot of
Oh,
stuff
how to
going
make
on,
friends and influence people.
right?
Shock horror.
And there are suggestions or rumours that certain deals that have been done lately, right,
For us,
for us have
our deals.
benefited certain third parties who may or may not be
dear.
related.
Do you want to? What deals are they? Can we
Flynn
guess? And then,
Downs,
yeah, that did look a little bit like
um,
someone phoned us up.
even Skamaka, right?
Well,
Well, look, here's a funny
that's
thing
not
about
a rumour, is
Skamaka,
it?
right? Is that Tony, who runs George's Cafe down Leytonstone High Road,
Yeah,
who's a Spurs fan, but he is Italian,
yeah.
He knows his Italian football, and he never rated Skamaka.
Yeah.
I don't.
And to be fair to Tony, he was right about Anderson.
Yeah, I don't.
But I know we've progressed as a club, but I just always think that if
I don't
there's
think we
players,
have progressed.
well, we have somewhat, I would say, but I don't know. There's always just a bit of me that thinks if they're coming to us,
Yes, because
Yeah.
no one else
You're
wants
right.
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
So
it's all,
We
it's
don't
'cause
get much
we pay over
competition,
the
do
odds,
we?
though, don't we?
we do,
We-
but our strategy needs to be completely different. It needs to be your Jared Bowens and your Flynn Downs.
Yep.
I don't mind because I don't know
No.
much about him. Bring him up a division.
Well,
if
a
he's
lot of
playing well in
people
that
say,
division.
you know, and again, just what I get told, you know, people are scratching their heads and saying, well, you know, he's not the real deal in training, and maybe that might be a bit harsh, but people are saying similar things about Skamaka. You know, why have we paid so much money?
Yeah.
I want to be
I quite like the
optimistic and want to
I like-
see how we get on.
I quite like the Cornet signing because he had an impact in a very poor Burnley team. He
Yeah.
scored goals, and I think he's a good squad player to have in and around the place.
Well, we need to be looking at, how Brighton have done it. They've bought that Cucurella or whatever his name is, and Bissomi or whatever, who went to Tottenham.
Basuma.
These players they got in at that level. That's what we need to be doing, buying them at that level, and then making these players better.
Yeah.
Instead
Look.
of paying these £35 million for players that.
Maybe he'll prove us all wrong. We said the same about Allaire and we said the same about Anderson. But, you know, it could be worse. We could be Man United fans.
I don't know.
We'll
I
reserve
wouldn't
judgment
mind.
on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having the history that they had and then feeling shit about it now.
Did you hear Forest fans singing Champions of Europe?
Yeah.
You'll
Dodsey
never.
covers that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God.
Time for this.
Dodsey's away day roundup. All right, my handsomes, how's you doing? It be all Dodsey's away day roundup. He says the away days are back, and it's funny what you miss when you don't have it. But I'm sure by the time 4 p.m. Sunday comes, I wish we were still in pre-season. Up early, 7 o'clock, walking the dog, in the car at 8, filling up with the old diesel and polluting the world at £1.78 a litre, which meant another 90 quid down the drain following the mighty West Ham. Straight up the
poor
Oh,
M5 to
sod.
Birmingham, across and then on and up to the M1 to Nottingham, travelling past the famous 6 huge chimneys, which is the actual point of where you go into the north, people. So for those that want to know where the north start, it's those 6 chimneys. Below that, you're sort of Midlands. So once you get past Hackney, you're sort of like Midlands going north. And then them chimneys, that's the north. There you go. If people were asking. But anyway, he travels past the famous 6 huge chimney stacks by the M1, pouring out more carbon monoxide than Sean Whetstone's mouth, whose belligerent love for the board. Oh, we arrived and parked up in the Premier Inn car park at a cost of 10 for 4 hours. He says, well, at the end of the day, we are in Robin Hood country. Yeah, well, I paid £35 for the day to park in Fulham Dodge, so don't be going there. And I believe in the current climate. They steal from the rich and give to the poor. I won't call it Notts Forest on this update, but upon seeing any Forest fans, we call them Notts Forest as we know it annoys them.
That's right, it does.
It
Vicious
does annoy
you
them.
are.
Yeah, Notts County, Nottingham Forest. On approaching the Nottingham Forest Stadium, a shudder went through my whole body as I remembered that this was the game when we last played them and we lost 5-0 as BFS put out the youth team, who none of us recognised as Google wasn't available. Fat Sham did this. He didn't put that, I've added that. Did this so he could save the better players for Man City. The following game, only to lose that 6-0. Oh, the good old days, Nigel. I took his word out because I'm not having that. On to the game. He says excitement of having a brand new version of Peter Crouch from Italy and an ice cream playing on the wing in cornet. The crowd excited and loud, and we were up for it until we realised they were on the bench. I'm not sure there was a fan in the ground who could understand why for the second game in a row we still haven't played any of our new signings from the start. But after a 30-year exile to the Premier League, the Forest crowd were up for it and singing their version. I don't know why. Mullikin Tie and Forest are back. Very loud. They were also singing Champions of Europe. You will never sing that, which brought out the classic West Ham are massive everywhere we go. But we saved the best. Yeah, Jesse
Classic.
Lingard, who got tons of abuse all the way through the game and actually laughed at a couple of them, especially when we sang, "We've still got your watch. We've still got your watch." Oh, Jesse Lingard, we've still got your watch. 7,500 shots on target, no goals to show, a missed penalty, and a load of false £50 notes floating all over the place. And the only bright side to the game was Jesse Lingard didn't score. We left the ground, made our way back to the car, into the Tesco garage to walk to pick up some water and a Diet Coke, because couldn't get his beers. He said, it finishes, all in all, a thoroughly enjoyable day ruined by 90 minutes of football. The only joy in a 400-mile round trip was the fact that it was a lot easier than what Thursday's going to be getting to the London Stadium due to train strikes, road closures on the A303 and the M5 and the Underground on strike. Broken Britain. Nigel and Len said on the podcast last week, we did, the trouble is it's becoming an 8-hour day to watch West Ham. Well, welcome to my world, boys. Mine averages 13 hours. As always, Brady out.
Brady out.
We're all right for Surrey on Thursday. You're obviously coming from the wrong way. Our tubes are working, our trains are working. So
You ain't got tubes in Surrey.
yeah, but from Jubilee lines running is what I mean.
Oh, right. Well, the Jubilee line don't run into Surrey.
No, but from Waterloo, so we can
Oh,
get
right.
into Waterloo, and we can get into on Jubilee line.
Oh, okay.
So it's
pleased
all.
for
I listened to what you said last week, but I'm just saying, the journey from Surrey, from the people who went, said it wasn't a problem. So it's all you Essex boys.
Right, me, is it?
I know you don't like me calling you Essex boys, but that's what you are.
Is that
No,
right?
I'm not.
What are you then?
Hertfordshire.
Are
Yeah,
you?
I'm technically Hertfordshire, yeah.
Well, not
I'm
technically,
lucky, Sean.
you are.
I am, yeah.
And you're Essex though, Nigel.
Yeah.
All right.
I currently reside here until I figure out somewhere better to live, yeah?
Okay. I'm just saying, you're an Essex boy. You call me a Surrey boy, you're an Essex boy.
Well, to be fair, Sean, where was you born?
I was born in, well, technically.
I rest my case.
Hang on.
Thank you very much.
Technically, when I was born, I was in Surbiton, which is part of London, right? Part of Kingston.
So
part
when
of
they go,
London.
do they go Kingston upon Thames, London, or do they go Kingston upon Thames, Surrey? Where did Surrey County Council used to have its town hall, Sean? Shall I rest my case there, or do I continue?
Well, all right.
think
I'm
we'll
sorry
rest
and
there.
proud of it. I haven't got
There
no
you go.
problem with being
Thank you very
Surrey.
much.
You seem to have a problem being Essex.
No, I don't.
Anyway.
I'm not.
Anyway, one thing that did disappoint me, he didn't mention it, and we didn't mention it earlier, is they don't seem to want to drop this cat thing, right? So, and I'm bringing Johnny on this in a minute. 'Cause he
Who
put
doesn't
things
want
on
to
it.
Zuma wouldn't have minded dropping the cat, would he?
So yeah, so they bought Cat and booed Zuma again. Forest. It just
Did
how
they?
long is this going to go on for? Drop
They
it.
never had a
Forever.
chance
I
last
didn't
year.
see anything.
It did. I
But
heard
it will
on
never
the
end
TV.
either. It's,
Be forever, won't it? A bloke's.
However-
he deserves it. To be fair. Let him
However,
deal with
Arsenal
it.
fans, Thomas Partey, he's fine.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
there is a.
He's got a trial though to come.
It's
That's why.
that's
I think Zuma was found guilty before he was tried as well.
it was all pretty
Yeah.
much double standards and all of that. We've talked about that, haven't we?
Yeah,
Before.
let's not go over it.
Yeah.
They're both
Anyway.
wankers. So
Saunder's finger pointing again.
Anyway, let's talk about the London Stadium.
Oh yes,
Oh,
Yes!
yes!
God.
I
Yes.
love it when we talk about
oh,
this stuff.
oh, fuck
I'll
it.
be
It's
looking
not.
forward
It's not
to-
getting blown up, is it?
No,
I'll be disappearing in a bit.
well,
But before I do disappear, can I just ask our many listeners?
no, because we're going to end up part one, right? We're going to
well,
do this
but can I
part one,
say it
part two. Go
in
on.
here, please? Because I might actually disappear before part 2.
Okay.
If anyone listening knows anyone that works for Airbnb, please let me know, and let me know by messaging the Facebook page or me on Twitter, George WHUFC.
There
Thank
go.
you.
Airbnb.
Ooh.
How exciting!
Well, if we're all doing this sort of stuff, I would like to do a big shout out to Michael Levy Jr.
Oh yeah.
I think your time will come, but please do it. Please do, because he's commented on.
Yeah, quick.
Questions for
Go on,
question time.
we'd do that. Go on.
Because he basically, we met up with him in sunny Tenerife, and he gave us a fantastic night's worth of entertainment.
How good was he?
He was extremely good. You couldn't, my wife summed it up by saying when we left there, when I met up with him, I said, look, he came on at 11, he was finishing about 1, and I said we might be leaving about about midnight, because I've had the 2 young girls with me, and I thought they may not want to sit down listening to Luther Vandross and Barry White all night. But as it turned out, within the hour, everyone was up and dancing, and they all had a great time, and we were there to the end. And my wife come away from there saying she had felt like she'd been at a concert. It was a great night.
Yeah.
So it was a really good night. It was a lovely bloke, and he's talking about maybe when he comes back over this way, we should all meet up and have a beer.
Yeah, he's a lovely
yeah.
bloke. And he's a fantastic, I don't just big him up, he's a fantastic singer. I watch a lot of his stuff puts it on Facebook, and
He's so
it
entertaining.
makes me
as
want to
well.
go to Tenerife, funny enough.
No, it's not just the singing, and it's the show he puts on.
Yeah.
And he's entertaining, he's amusing, he gets everyone involved, and he's really good at what he does. So big shout out to him, and thank you for his hospitality.
Cool. Anyway, the London Stadium. I don't know how much you paid for beer. Obviously, I wasn't there.
€1.50 a pint.
There was obviously next to where we are in 113
It's
or
cheap, isn't it?
114 now.
Do you know why it's so cheap there, John?
Why?
Because of the tax, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah.
They don't
Well,
put any tax on their goods, but they tax their residents very heavily, apparently.
Well, I bought my mum some cigarettes home. It was £2.50 a pack.
There you go.
So there you go.
So beer, £7.30. I know most of us
The
don't buy
£2.50
beer.
is cheap, isn't it, John?
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean, go on.
About £11 a pack now.
Well, I wasn't here, but I did email Karen Brady, and she did reply.
Of course you did, while you was on holiday.
And I said, what's happening to the comparable club clause? So what happens is, our contract, which she signed in 2013, says that the mean average, take away any promotions, of any London club with a capacity of over 40,000, so that's Arsenal, Spurs, and Chelsea. They can't charge more than the mean average. So Spurs charge £5.19. Arsenal, run by Delaware North, is £6.35, and Chelsea charge £5.70.
Why haven't we got the same as Arsenal if they're Delaware North?
Well, because they charge different prices. I don't know how they charge what they can get away with, I guess.
Well, they're not getting away with it, are they?
Levy Restaurants, which is owned by Compass, runs Spurs and Chelsea. Not owned by Daniel Levy, by
I was
the
going
way.
to say, any relation?
No. It's some Chicago restaurant company that does all around the world. It was bought by Compass UK. Anyway, I'm assured, I know you've probably read stories too, that Karen Brady said, we will change. We have spoken to Delaware North and the stadium owners, they will change the price of Thursday. So I'm expecting it to be, if you look at the mean average of those three, £5.75.
Yeah, but that ain't going
It's
to happen,
only down to
Sean,
a fiver.
because they ain't going to do that, because they were charging £6 odd last
Well,
year.
Yeah.
So did
that
they mug
is
us all
the
off last
contract.
year?
Yeah, well, it looks like that way.
So
what
why
they've
didn't the
done-
club do anything about it last year then?
Because
Sean?
they didn't have Sean Whetstone going, how much is a
No,
price?
no. I haven't been the owner. Look, Hammers United have been writing to Karen and the rest of them as well. So I'm sure it hasn't just been coming from one angle. And the media, of course, have picked this up. The Sun wrote a story about
the Daily Mail have been all
burgers
over it, haven't they?
for £9.50. The Mirror wrote a story of most expensive beer. So suddenly it's got a little bit of traction now.
Yeah, but to be honest, Sean, they all did that after you'd already wrote to Karen, and Karen had replied to you. Oh, sorry. After you'd wrote to Karen,
Yeah.
so they were all a bit late to the party, realistically.
And let's face
Yeah,
it,
but you
I
can't
Coventry
just
really
know the
show
absolutely
contract.
shit, isn't it?
I just know the contract, and I asked them to check. Ben Illisworth and Nathan, the commercial guy, I just said, well, let's just check the contract to see what the prices are. And Karen said,
Well,
if
they
you
must
can,
have known.
Karen,
Why
well,
aren't they
don't,
being
because
proactive about it?
Karen
They
said,
probably
if you can
didn't
find
know,
out the
to be honest.
prices at the other clubs, that would be helpful, Sean. So, lucky enough,
Let's be fair. That the board, the least concern to the board is really what the fans think or what the fans are
Yeah, but
affected
you know
by
what?
when
No,
they
No,
go
the
to the game.
fans, just
I'm-
the
I'm
fans.
glad
Exactly. So
you
what I'm
came
saying
into
is that
this.
they're not gonna really care about the price of a beer, are
But
they?
you know
No,
what?
because they don't care about the fans.
So they're not going to know what the contract says. So the fact that they've put their prices up, they've kind of shot themselves in the foot, because you've got people like Sean, like Hammers United, that have gone, now this is taking the piss, let's have a look into this. So they've shot themselves in the
You
foot.
know what
And
the
I
other
think
thing
it will
is?
come down. I think it will come down.
The Times did a story to suggest that actually West Ham were earning out of overpriced beer, but in fact, and I got another email from someone in the club to show what we actually earn from the catering
Get
contract.
the word out, Sean.
What? Say it then. What?
Get the word out, Sean.
And the shut up. and what it is we get 30% of the 12.5%. So if there is 8 million catering revenue, right? The costs are taken out, whatever the net amount is for Delaware North, right? 12.5% of that goes to London Stadium 185, who are the stadium owners, right? Of that 12.5%, right, they get $500,000 guaranteed. Anything of that 12.5% that is over $500,000, we get 30% of the leftover. So in the last full year, 2018, 2019, before COVID, our cut from £8 million of catering revenue was £79,000. Now, all right, last
For
year
the
we had-
season.
for the whole season, yeah.
What does Spurs get a game, Sean?
Oh, it's so again, it is Levi UK, but it's a far better deal because they own the stadium.
What did they get? It was on a certain podcast the other week.
I'm sure it's a phenomenal amount. I have
Nearly
heard
a
it.
million a game from catering.
I'm
Wow.
not surprised. They milk their. Funny enough, I bumped in while I was on holiday in Mexico. I bumped into some Essex people who were Spurs season.
Which
ticket
holiday
holders.
was that, Sean?
Which one?
I don't know. You've been on
Take-
so
take
many
your pick.
holidays.
Is it the Spain one, Sean?
Yeah,
When's your next one, Sean?
Saturday.
Yeah, so
Oh, nice. When did
What
you
What
get
you got
back?
against Essex all of a sudden,
Today. You
Sean?
got back today.
I got back today. Yeah.
Sean?
What?
Sean
Do you
prefers
work-
old
do you
money,
work
not the
against
nouveau
Sean,
riche.
do you
Essex
work? Do
all
you
of a
work,
sudden?
Sean?
I do work, but I've got a sabbatical, as I mentioned before. What did you say, Len?
His retirement's
What
for
have you
sabbatical.
got against Essex all of a sudden?
I haven't got a problem with Essex.
Well, you have. It
Spurs
sounds like
season
it.
ticket
You're
holders
throwing it
living-
like it's an
It's a
insult coming
stigma.
from
No,
Essex.
I'm not suggesting it's a stigma to live in Essex.
God, they're way to alienate the audience, Sean.
Hey,
I know.
Jesus Christ.
Look, if you live in Essex, that's far enough. You know, you can't help you.
Far enough. Yeah, it's
Fair
far
enough.
enough.
Far enough.
Anyway.
How long's your sabbatical, Sean?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. You get 6 weeks paid.
Yeah, 6 weeks paid.
That's unbelievable.
Is that on top of your normal holiday allowance
Yeah,
as well?
yes, it is. Yeah,
So
Yeah,
you
'cause-
normally get 6 weeks holiday anyway, didn't you?
yeah,
So 12 weeks, so you get 3 months of this year off.
yeah.
As a
paid.
thank, you
fully
sure it
paid.
says a thank you and not like thank fuck he's gone?
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing is when you've been away from your job that long and they find a way to do it without you.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe
You
I
may
won't
not-
come
you
back.
That
might
Geordie
not-
security
they'd-
guard's
they'd-
having a
they'd-
whale of a time.
They probably would have worked that out by now, wouldn't they? How long you been there, Sean?
Yeah, I have been there 35 years. So anyway, that's the London. Look, I am going to pursue now. I've obviously it's for food and drink. So if the burgers are there, I'm going to follow this through.
I
now.
will be there. If the burgers are there, I will be there.
To make sure the burgers, the food, etc., is comparable club clause. But the other interesting thing, and I'm going to do a freedom of information because I need to. This the safety certificate was issued. I was speaking to what is her name? Sheila Roberts, who's the chair of she's Newham Council and she's chair of the Safety Advisory Group, and they only issued the safety certificate on the Saturday, 24 hours before we played City. Now,
Yeah, I broke that, Sean, on 6'2".
I know you did. I know you did because I told you about it. I sent you the email from Sheila because I was retired and on holiday.
Yeah.
So the question is, did the anti-banter wall? I don't know what we're going to call it. What the
The Brady Wall, isn't it? I think
Well,
we've named it.
I like the Wankers ball.
Hammers United have said they weren't consulted on that SAB Mark 4 or whatever they call it. It just seems to be wrong in every way. I haven't seen it for myself. I know Dodsey did send me the pictures privately, yes, and they did go everywhere when I published them on Twitter. But I will say he did send them. I didn't just nick them; he sent them to me privately.
Did you get the money for them, Sean?
I didn't sell them, no. But
No.
they were used.
Oh, well, they were used by
They were
everyone.
used by everybody, and the same with the pictures from the beer and the bits from the contract were used by the Daily Mail and everything. But it's a big washing machine. But I don't
And
know.
someone always hates the money, and it's never the people that.
I
seem to
just
give it
think
to
it's
you.
wrong to put a wall up like that. I mean, it ain't going to stop the missiles. It just
Well, it did a bloody good job, to be fair, Sean.
did it.
Yeah.
Oh, it did.
Only one made it over. Yeah.
Well, they make it a bit higher then, won't they?
Yeah. Oh, you'll still get one over. You still
Can
get
they
a lobby.
see? Can the away fans see?
No,
No.
they can't see anymore. Have you
No.
not seen it, John?
No,
It's
I saw
actually-
I did
It's
see the
actually
picture.
more dangerous because they can't see anything coming over. At least before they could see what was coming.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, no, they can't bat it away.
It's a twofold thing here. We did cover it last week, but it's perhaps if the people down there hadn't been so happy to throw things at the away fans, they wouldn't have built the wall. But the fact is, you didn't need that there. All
No.
it needed was a net.
Yeah, no, agreed.
It was obviously
it's
incorporated into the new stand that they're built to be done.
Well, I'm going to do a freedom of information. I'm not going to let this one lie. I want to work out who was
Oh.
consulted and what's going on.
the
and-
fans, hero.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the end of part one because I know George needs to eat, otherwise he'll get hangry.
So we do the
Predictions, shall we?
yeah.
Predictions for Thursday and
Against the
Sunday.
dog and duck.
Gets the dog and duck.
So, would you call them
Who's
Denmark
beeping?
fishermen and Brighton? George, let's start with you. Predictions.
I predict that we will beat Viborg 2-0
Yeah.
and Brighton 0-0.
Okay. John, are you joining us for part two, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I predict the dog and duck 0, West Ham United 1, and Brighton 1, West Ham United 0.
That's close to mine. That's close
Len?
to my prediction. Dog and Duck, we beat them 1-0. Brighton lose 2-0.
Nigel?
I think Viborg we beat 2-0. Skamaka will score and Conor Coventry.
Cool.
And then
Wow.
Brighton, I think's a draw, 1-1.
Well, I'm going to go, after a lot of thought about this, I'm going to go 1-0 against the Dog and Duck, the Denmark Fishermen, and 1-0 win against Brighton to break our bogey team. It's at 1 hour on the dot to let George go. We'll be back very shortly for part 2, if you're listening to this. I've been Sean.
When you say very shortly, what's the difference between release dates?
Well, I release them within an hour of each other, right?
Oh, wow,
so
okay.
if you
Perhaps
listen
just
to
leave
the
it a bit
first
longer.
one, by the time you've listened to the first one, the second one will be out. That's the way to do it, George, you see?
And but
Yeah.
unless
But
Sean,
you could do a Monday and a Wednesday release.
don't
and everyone would be
listen
like,
No,
"Oh,
to
God,
because
I
I like
need
it
it
to
so
be
much.
topical.
I need it so much.
I lead.
Yeah, but
like
not
it.
much happens between a Monday and a Wednesday.
Sometimes it does. It can move, and I don't want it to be out of date. I did think of that, George.
I'm sure you did.
why not one in the morning and one in the afternoon, so
Alright.
then people can listen going to work and listen coming home.
But we give them a choice.
Well,
If
if
we
you've
release
got-
them within an hour of each other,
Yeah.
right?
What about
People
if
who want to
you've got
listen, who do their,
Yeah, postie.
posties can listen to them
I
back
had
to
to
back.
posties out there.
That's the beauty of podcasts. Anyway, I've been Sean.
Remember Airbnb. If anyone knows
Yeah.
anyone that works for Airbnb,
Hang on.
please message me.
We're wrapping up. George has been.
John's got
Thank
a
you very
complaint
much. Thank
John
you very
has
much.
been.
Here for my holidays.
Len has been.
Painting.
Nigel has been.
editing.
Come on, you irons. Bye.
Bobby Moore. More than just a podcast. Bobby Moore. More than just a podcast.